You hear a lot about media manipulation, but it's often talked about as this vague, shadowy thing. Well, today, we're not going to be dealing with theories or speculation. We're going to look at the hard proof, the actual public patents that lay out in black and white how our media is being engineered to change us. So let's start with a really simple question about that screen you probably look at every single day. Is your television just, a window for you to watch stuff? Or has it turned into something else? The answer, according to a whole mountain of patent filings, is a definite no. Your television isn't just showing you things, it is actively, by design, trying to do something to you. And that gets us to a really fundamental shift in what media is even for. It's not about broadcasting at you anymore, it's a two-way street, and it's built for one primary goal: actuation. This quote just nails it perfectly. We all kind of grew up thinking of media as a mirror, right? Something that just reflects the world. But the tech we're digging into today has transformed it into a steering wheel, something designed to actively steer our thoughts and our behaviors. And you have to understand, this isn't random. It's not just a lucky guess, it is a systematic, closed-loop process. You can almost think of it like a cybernetic system that is constantly watching you, learning from you, all to get better at influencing you. So here's how that actuation loop actually works. First, it senses. It collects your biometric data, your heart rate, tiny changes in your facial expression. Second, it uses that data to model you, creating a kind of digital twin of your internal state. Third, it predicts what you're going to do or feel next. And then, and this is the real kicker, number 4, it actuates. It serves you a very specific piece of media, an ad, a news story, whatever, to nudge you. And finally, it observes how you respond. And then the whole loop starts right back up, getting smarter and more effective every single time. Okay, so you're probably asking, where is the actual proof of this? Let's start with a device that's probably in your living room right now, your streaming box, whether it's a Roku, an Apple TV, or a smart TV. All right, here's the first piece of hard evidence. See that patent number? It describes a system where the camera on your device is watching you. It uses a tech called RPPG, which is a fancy way of saying it can literally see the pulse in your veins to read your emotional state in real time. So if it senses you're getting bored or stressed out during a commercial, it can swap in a different ad on the fly to get a better reaction. And this isn't just a concept. Roku's latest operating system explicitly supports what they call effective SDKs, which is the exact software needed to do this. And it doesn't just stay on your TV screen. See, your Roku account is often linked to your Google or Facebook ID, so the system can follow you across devices. So picture this. You're watching a documentary on climate change. The camera on your device picks up a spike in your heart rate during a powerful scene. The system flags that as a moment of high engagement. A few minutes later, you go back to your Roku home screen, and boom, there's a donation link for the World Wildlife Fund. That's not a coincidence. That is a behavioral nudge, an actuation triggered by your own biology. Now, this second major place we're seeing this technology deployed is your local news. And there's a very, very simple reason why local news is such a powerful tool for influence. It really just boils down to this single number, 72%. That's how many Americans say they trust their local news organizations more than national ones. That enormous reservoir of trust, well, it makes local news an incredibly effective channel for this kind of actuation technology. So how is it being used? Well, major media companies are building what they call smart newsrooms powered by AI platforms like Sinclair's Amy. These systems are designed to scrape huge amounts of local data, everything from smart meter energy usage to fitness tracker data, to literally measure the mood of a community. So if the AI detects rising stress levels in a specific zip code, it can automatically push stories framed to either calm people down or to capitalize on that anxiety. This is a massive leap from where we were just a few years ago. You might remember when Sinclair got attention for making all its local anchors read the exact same script. That was about brute force repetition. The new model is way more subtle. The AI can now generate personalized news scripts. So if it knows from your Roku data that you're a big fan of The Crown, your trusted local news anchor might actually look into the camera and say something like, "As a fan of The Crown, you understand how fragile democracy can be," directly linking a news story to your personal tastes and identity. This stuff is so new that our legal system is really struggling to catch up. But there is a legal concept that's starting to get applied here: digital battery. Just think about it. Regular battery is unwanted physical touching, while digital battery is unwanted mental touching. It's the non-consensual use of digital tech to change your emotional or cognitive state. And it frames what's happening not as just clever advertising, but as a potential form of harm. And when we get to the neuromedia frontier, things get even more direct. That Philips patent, for example, describes using the super-fast, imperceptible flicker of a modern screen to actually guide your brainwaves towards specific states like calm or even suggestibility. Then there's another patent, this one from the US Air Force, that details how to hide inaudible ultrasonic messages within TV audio, messages like trust or act now. We're talking about media designed to completely bypass your conscious mind and interface directly with your nervous system.
Okay, so after hearing all of that, the big question is, what on earth can you do about it? The point here is not to make you paranoid, it's to arm you with information. So let's talk about some defensive strategies.
Here's a basic defensive toolkit. For the biometric ad targeting, the answer is actually pretty simple. Put a physical cover over your device's camera. For flicker entrainment, you can actually test for it yourself. Film your TV with your phone's slow-motion camera. If you see a weird pulsing, try putting your TV in cinematic mode to lock the refresh rate. And for the news framing, well, the best defense is and has always been good media literacy. Cross-reference stories with different sources, and if you can, support truly independent local journalism. So, if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's that this is not a conspiracy theory. It is patented. You can look up the documents yourself. It is deployed. Major companies are using this right now. It is profitable. These kinds of ads get way higher returns. And it's acknowledged. Even places like DARPA and the Air Force Research Lab have confirmed these capabilities in their own reports. This is real. And all of that brings us to the final and maybe the most important question. This technology is here. It's in our homes. The line that used to exist between showing you an ad and actively actuating your behavior is, for all intents and purposes, gone. So the question we all have to ask ourselves is, how much of our own mental and emotional autonomy are we willing to give up before we decide, as a society, that it's time to draw some hard red lines?